Hey fam, welcome back to another video. My name is Jamila Dora. Thank you for clicking to watch this video. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, hi. So today you all are going to hang out with me. I'm going to be showing you all an evening routine. Once I pick the kids up from school, what are the things I do once I get home. It's not always like this. Sometimes I cook, sometimes I do not. But on this day I was craving tuwo masara, that is cornmeal, and draw soup. So the only draw soup that I could take that day was dry okra. So I decided to make tuwo masara with dry okra soup, and you all are going to see how I'm going to be making it. So subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let us get right into it. So to get started, I want to get my protein cooking. One thing I do when it comes to cooking is that I always love to try clean up my environment a little bit. And in recent times, leading up until this video, I wasn't really the one in the kitchen. The mister was the one managing the kitchen, so it wasn't in its pristine state, which is not expected because everybody has his own strong suit, and you know how if you have men cook in your kitchen, you know what that would look like. So I did some cleaning in the initial clip when you all saw, and once I got my meat on the fire, I seasoned it. I know I'm making dry okra soup, and I know there are people out there who don't believe in seasoning their soup for traditional, like their protein for traditional this thing. I wasn't raised that way. This was how I was raised. Our meat gets properly seasoned regardless of whether it's traditional or modern soup you're making. So once the meat was cooking, I also put another pot for the tuwo, and I came to my dry station. This is where I dry my plates, like little stuff that we use and we need to wash. I wanted to reset it or refresh the place, so I changed the mat, and I also washed the basket, and I called Kairia downstairs to come and put away the dishes, let her empty the dishwasher, and I also changed the kitchen napkin. And yeah, I just love to see my space clean. I'm not perfect, but I try to do it within my limit, and I also try to engage my kids as much as I can. While Kairia was doing the dishes, I called Ansar to come take the change of napkins, the dirty ones, upstairs to the laundry room. And the night before, I made couscous. My goal is to actually cook as much as I could, like back to back, so that we can have some stash in the freezer. Let me know, are you team fresh meals every day or stash food for use in the future? For me, I like to stash food in the freezer. I did not grow up with that. My mom was team cook every day, fresh meal 3 times a day, and that was one thing I knew I wasn't going to be able to do when I get married, except of course I'll have someone do it for me. But even before she handed over the kitchen to us and started having chefs and all that, she would cook morning, afternoon, and evening. And honestly, it never made sense to me because I thought it was premium suffering. And my dad is so used to that, and my mom's one is in such a way that by 8 a.m. breakfast is ready, 1 p.m. lunch is ready, 6 p.m. dinner is ready. Everything was always on time. So I had couscous from the night before. The mister just put everything in the fridge with the pot and everything, so I wanted to portion it properly. I stored one with the sauce that we made, which was a potato kidney sauce, and the other one I left it plain because of Ansar, if he would eat it with plain stew. So my water was boiling already, and I came to do my telgan tuwo. And here I like to make my tuwo this thing watery, really watery, because it will just make me, I'll lower the heat and let it cook slowly with lots of patience and love. I love processes when it comes to food. I don't like rushing things or just juggling everything all at once. So the goat meat was a lot, and I knew that I didn't want to make that much, a lot of dry okra soup, so I reduced it. And guess what, even this the remaining goat meat few days or about a week later, I used it for stew because we had stew that didn't have meat. So I boiled it with the stew and we had something to eat. This is how I save time as a mom that is so limited by help and all that. So I added dry fish to my goat's meat. I cleaned my iru, that is the dawa. I regret not bringing iru to America this time around. I had this bowl that I wanted to use for my tool, but the water is clean. I just decided to pour it in there. Then my palm oil, and I covered it again to continue cooking while I went to start adding thickening my tuwo. I really don't know the processes, like what all these processes are called, so let's use the word thickening. And this is when the initial mixture is a bit cooked or cooked thoroughly, then you come and add dry powder again just to thicken it and make it in a way you can form your proper tuwo out of it. So I will go ahead to add a little bit more water. It's tuwo masara, and one thing with tuwo masara is that it hardens very quickly, so you have to be very careful as to how thick you're even going to make it. Then you add your water and let it to continue cooking. That is the process that was due here. So, and all this is done on low heat. I don't like it when people cook on very high heat and everywhere will just be hot and uncomfortable to stay in. And another habit of mine is that I clean as I go. So let me know, do you clean as you go, or you just cook everything, mess up everything that you want to mess up, then once you're done eating, then that is when you're going to come and start cleaning? For me, I love to clean as I go. And yeah, I'm back to the soup again. I'm adjusting the seasoning. I love to use crayfish to adjust my seasoning. If it's not salty, like if it does not have enough salt, I would rather use crayfish to adjust the salt than to add extra salt to it. So when I tasted it, I realized that there was enough Maggi cube, seasoning cube, but there was not enough salt. I can tell the difference. If you taste more sugar than like a little bit of tang in your soup, that means there's more seasoning cube than salt. So instead of adding extra salt to it, I added crayfish, and that balanced it. So I didn't need to add seasoning cube, I didn't need to add extra salt, but I built the flavor by adding crayfish to it. So while the okra was cooking, I came back to finish my tuwo. This is the final. This is the stage where you smooth it out, you beat air into it, make it really fluffy and stretchy. If it's semo, it is going to be a lot more stretchier than this, but it's corn. Corn has little to no gluten in it, so you don't expect it to have that pull that you get if you are making semo. So at this point I was getting really tired, so there was no fancy plating. I brought down my plate, the kids' plate and the mister's plate, and I'm always the last I dish my food last. I like my food hot, so whatever way I can keep it longer in the pots without putting it in my plate, I go for that. So I cut Ansar's food like this just to make it easy for him to eat. If it's too big, he doesn't like it, so I kind of cut it in 2 small pieces. Then it's easier for him, then it cools down faster as well. And normally I actually cut Ansar's food first because he likes his food warm, but he doesn't like it hot. So yeah, I went on to serve the soup straight. Like I said, no fancy plating, no separate plate for soup. Like, let me know, I know there are women out there, and I give it to you all, like the way they will set it. I want to be able to give this man that kind of first class treatment. When we're in Nigeria, he gets it, but when we're here, sorry, we can't, because by the time I'm finished doing everything, nobody is helping me. I cannot use 2 coolers, 3 washing hand bowls, 2 cups, big tray. I cannot do that here, but I pray that at some point in our lives we get to that stage where I can give him that treatment, like, you know, the king treatment, like the king that he is, because he deserves it. And I hate it that, you know, I can't do that. When we just got married, in the first few years, I still have those dishes, but by himself he told me to not do that again. And even when we were in Nigeria, he still kind of gets surprised when he comes downstairs to eat and he sees all the display and the arrangement and all that. But he likes his meal like this. But one day I'll be able to serve him like a king that he is. Yeah, so once I dished everybody's food, I gave Kharia her dad's one to take to him. I called her back for hers. I called Ansar for his own. I'm still buying time here, you know, so I'm going to be the last person. My food is going to be the last to dish and to get dished out and to go eat. It was yum and very, you know, filling for us. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and see you in my next video. Let me know what is your typical after school routine with your kids, and if there is anything that is so familiar here, and what kind of video would you like to see next. Let me know in the comment section. Bye all and stay blessed.